Welcome to Chris's Corner. This is Chris with Craft Closet. Today we are going to be learning more about making slots for your projects. The first thing we need to do is to know how big to make the slots by measuring the width of our material. We are going to use calipers to do this. These calipers can measure in millimeters or inches and different thicknesses. These are some of my favorite tools to have in my laser craft room. Let's start off by measuring Samantha Doodle's Pastel Ghosts color board. To measure it, we just take the calipers and squish it against the board. As you can see, it's 0.11 inches. We'll write that down to remember it. Now let's measure this finished Sapel board. We're really excited about the new finished collection of woods that we're coming out with. It looks like this is 0.13 inches. We'll also write this one down. Next, let's measure our robin's egg pastel. It's 0.12 inches. So we'll write that down. So let's talk about how we can use this in our project. Let's start with a simple rectangle. If we want to add slots to this, first we need to measure the material, of course, which we just did. And then we are going to make some more smaller rectangles. The width of these rectangles will be the width of your material. The length of the rectangles, or however long you want them to be. For this example, we are going to use the settings for the acrylic. So I'm going to make the width of this 0.12. And then I'm going to make the length of it half of the size of the rectangle. And so this rectangle is 1 inch. I'm going to make the length of my small rectangle to be 0.5 inches. Then we'll go to Pathfinder and make a compound shape. Now let's make a copy of this one so that we have two the same size. And then I'm going to make some other ones different sizes so that we can make test pieces to see with the curve on the laser which size would actually be the best. I'm going to make it so that it engraves on each of these rectangles the width of the slot. That way when we try these, we'll know which one is which. I'm going to now cut these on my Glowforge out of the acrylic to see how it works. This file will be available on our website so that you can play around with different widths too. And it's pretty easy to make your own file if you'd like. Okay, I like how these turned out. Now let's try them and see how they fit together. First, the 0.125. I made this one a little bigger than the material just to see if we wanted it to be loose. Second, the 0.12. This one's the exact size of the material. And the next one is 0.115, and I want to make this one smaller. I think I like the smaller one. The curve of the laser cuts off just a little bit, so the one that's a little smaller seems to fit tighter. Okay, let's put this information into a real situation. I am going to make a quick jewelry display file. This will be available on our website. To make this stand up, we will need to make a base for it and make a slot in the base. We will need to measure our material to know the width of the slot. I am going to make the slot width on this 0.12 so that it will fit our acrylic. Now we will cut this out on our Glowforge and see how it all works. I love how this turns out. The slot works perfect. One more thing to consider when making slots for stands is if you have a multi-layer project and more than one of the layers goes into the stand, you will need to measure all of the layers together to make the slot wide enough in the stand. So let's do that. I just finished making this Easter basket file, but I want to make it stand up. Now it's a multi-layer file, And so I'm going to have to measure all of the acrylics that I'm going to put in to make this stand. I'm going to start off by making the slot the same width as the basket tab. And then I'm going to measure all of my different acrylics. And to do that, I already know that my acrylic's 0.12, and so I'm going to multiply that by the 4 layers. And so we see that I need to make this slot 0.48 inches wide. And now it should work with all of the different materials together in one slot. So now you can get started on your own projects adding slots. This is Chris with Craft Closet. Thanks for watching.